Hello, my name is Jennifer Bester. My colleagues and I represent the Leagues of Women Voters of San Mateo County. I will be presenting the pros and cons of State Ballot Measure 19. Proposition 19 is a constitutional amendment that was put on the ballot by the legislature. It stands in place of an initiative that had been qualified earlier by voter signatures by the California Realtors Association. The legislative version received support from most Democrats as well as some Republicans in both houses. Proposition 19 addresses the ability for qualified homeowners to transfer a low property tax valuation to a new primary residence. It also addresses the right of children to inherit a low property tax valuation on a parent's primary residence, as well as on income properties, including farms. California's existing property tax assessment system is based on a property owner's original acquisition cost plus a limited 2% increase per year of ownership. Properties held for a long period typically pay significantly lower property taxes than similar, neighboring, more recently acquired properties. Proposition 60 in 1986 and Proposition 90 in 1998 created the existing law that allows certain homeowners to take, one time, their existing lower property tax basis with them when they move to a new home. Specifically, homeowners who are 55 or older, disabled, or who have been affected by natural disasters like earthquakes or wildfires can transfer their existing low valuation to a new primary residence that is of equal or lesser market value than their old home. However, statewide, they can only do it within their existing home county or to 10 other counties that allow incoming transfers, including San Mateo, Los Angeles, Orange, Santa Clara, Alameda, and San Diego counties. Meanwhile, Proposition 58 in 1986 created existing law that allows parents to transfer their current low property tax basis to children when the parents transfer a principal residence. This also applies to other real property, both residential and commercial, with a combined current assessment value, not market value, assessment value, of less than $1 million. In 2017, the Legislative Analyst's Office estimated that about 5% of all property transfers in the state, primarily single-family homes, had received this exclusion over the past decade. Proposition 19 extends the ability to keep a lower existing property tax basis when a qualified homeowner moves. Instead of requiring the new home's value to be less than the existing home, it can be more expensive. The property tax basis increases proportionally, though only on the excess market value between the two homes. The proposition extends the ability to move to any county in the state for all qualified homeowners. And for those homeowners 55 and over or disabled, instead of just one such transfer, 3 are allowed. At the same time, Proposition 19 narrows the ability of parents to transfer a low property tax basis to children, except in the case of a primary residence. Only for a parent's primary residence can the existing property tax basis be transferred to a child. That child must make it their own primary residence within 1 year, qualifying for a homeowner's exemption. And only the first $1 million of difference between tax valuation and market value is excluded. Proposition 19 also adds family farms to the properties eligible for family transfer or inheritance with their existing property tax valuation. Finally, Proposition 19 provides for any net savings to the state as a result of these changes to flow to a statewide fire response fund. This proposition creates a number of changes in property tax revenue. Generally, these changes counterbalance financially. Over time, the Legislative Analyst's Office expects up to hundreds of millions of dollars a year of increased property tax revenue to flow to local city and county governments. Any decrease in property tax receipts as a result of greater portability for qualified homeowners will be offset by higher property tax payments, particularly those on inherited properties. The Legislative Analyst's Office also expects higher property taxes for schools and community colleges in areas such as ours, where many districts are funded by property tax rather than state aid. Finally, the Legislative Analyst's Office expects that the additional property tax generated in state aid-funded school districts will lower the state's funding requirements in some years. Any reduction will flow into a fund to improve fire protection and response by both state and local fire agencies. Supporters of Proposition 19 say that the proposition provides housing flexibility for seniors, the disabled, and disaster victims, that it creates homeownership opportunities for new homeowners statewide, that it eliminates unfair tax advantages for heirs of property owners, that it increases funding for firefighters, for schools, and for emergency response. Opponents say that the proposition is a massive tax increase, that it increases competition for smaller or starter homes, that it takes away inheritance rights of children that have been provided by Proposition 58. The California Association of Realtors provided much of the $35 million of funding in support of the proposition, including qualification of the initiative. The Howard Jarvis Taxpayers Association has raised $450,000 in opposition to date. A yes vote on Proposition 19 supports a constitutional amendment that would allow eligible homeowners to transfer lower tax valuations anywhere within the state, unrestricted by home value, up to 3 times. It would require that inherited homes that are not used as principal residences, such as second homes or rentals, be reassessed at market value when transferred. Also, it would allocate any net state savings that result from the ballot measure to fire prevention agencies. A no vote would maintain existing property tax related advantages and restrictions.